right? So you have to, when you're making decisions, you're young, you're 14. So this is a very crucial decision time in your life because you're picking and choosing the directions you're going. You're developing your habits, and it's very important to think about the next you and what the best choices are. Did you understand that?
Yeah, I understand you.
Okay.
I see you.
You see me? You see me and you hear me?
Yeah.
Good. I'm here to help you guys. That's my job. That's why I always say. Okay, there's Milo. How are you today? Don't say you're tired. You feel normal, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did you get your test papers?
Yeah, I have it.
Okay, so you know what topics and everything we're going to talk about. Good. How's school going? Everything good?
Today, I was very busy.
Well, you're supposed to be busy at school because they always give you a lot to do. Can you imagine going to school and not having anything to do?
Yeah, it's pretty bored. But I have to join many class today.
You had to join a class today? Well, you have classes every Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot. Is that what you said? It's a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know what it would be like to go to class on Saturday. I guess it's kind of like working because when we were kids, we never went to school on Saturday and Sundays. It was just Monday to Friday, and then that was it. We were off on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and we never had extra classes in the evening like you guys do here in Asia. Very different system. All righty. Well, you'll get through it. You're already 14 now? No, 13 still. You'll be 14 this year, right? You're a teenager now, aren't you? Aren't you 13 now?
No, I'm 14 now.
Oh, you're 14 already. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. So you're in high school and you'll be out of there soon and you'll be able to start doing more things that you want to study and do. So that's coming. It's all coming little by little. All right. So you ready to go do a test?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Let's go to part 1, social interaction. All right. Part 1, social interaction. Our first topic is socializing. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? Or maybe both?
I am both.
Okay. So give me some examples of what you enjoy being alone and what you enjoy out with friends. Right? Got to give 1 or 2 reasons to support your answer.
I enjoy be alone and play my computer and do something alone. But in sometimes I wanna hang out with my friends and interact with social and people.
Well, yeah, that's what introvert and extrovert means. But what do you like doing? You say you can't play computer. You mean games, or you mean socializing, or you mean writing poetry, music? What is it you like to do when you're alone? That means you're not chatting with your friends.
Playing game, play some music, and I think a bit draw.
Drawing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What kind of drawing do you like to do?
I draw my character.
Characters?
Yeah.
Like anime characters, manga characters, or?
It's not same as anime, but I think it's same to cartoon, but it's same to anime too.
Okay, show me a picture. Show me one of your best characters.
I don't. I think it's not beautiful enough to show.
Of course it is. Then you can get some feedback so people can tell you what they think. It's good to show your drawings. That's how you improve, right? You can't learn English all by yourself. You need to practice with someone. It's the same like drawing. You want to be able to share it with other people.
And I don't know where is my picture now.
Oh my God. What do you like doing with your friends when you're out socializing?
We will hang out, drink some coffee or tea, and sometimes we can walk around the town.
Okay. Hanging out, walking around, exploring a little bit. You drink coffee?
Now we going to the coffee shop.
Oh, okay. Yeah, don't drink coffee now. Too young for that. Not good for you. Okay. How do you make new friends and where can you find them?
Um, and make new friend by go to school and some extra class.
Making friends at school and some extra classes?
Yeah, and sometimes my friend can ask me some friends
Sometimes your friends can ask you what?
to make a make friend with a person that they know.
I'll introduce you to new people.
Yeah.
Ah, right. All right. So that's how you find them too? Is there any other way or is it only basically school classes through friends? Because that's normally the way. Usually we meet friends through friends. But any other, would you ever make friends online or through gaming?
I just have to make friend online first time one time only one time. And now I don't do that anymore.
No. Someone your age, right? Another teenager?
I think some another teenager.
Okay, where were they from?
They're from Vietnam, and
In Vietnam.
I don't know how to make friends with foreigners.
Well, it's the same thing as anything else. It's just conversation. If you have something in some of the same interests or something in common, right? Then you can chat about it. It's hard when it's online because it's often that you'll make friends if you're gaming because you have something in common already. But just to talk to someone in a chat room or something or on Facebook, that's kind of difficult. You don't know who they are, and it's not really smart either, really. Because you have to be careful. You don't want to give all your information online and all these things. But Lily said that she met a few friends playing video games. She said there's another Lily in England that she talks to a lot. She's 12 years old, I think, the other Lily. And she said that, of course, she makes friends locally in Vietnam through her online gaming. Yeah. No, it's okay. You just got to be careful. You don't want to give out too much information, and make sure you know as much as you can about those people. Yeah. Do you believe it is important to keep in contact with your old friends? Why or why not? Do you ever have a friend that moved away?
Yeah, I have moved away some of my friends, and I believe that it's not important to keep contact with old friends.
Nah, because they move on in their own life and you move on in your life, so you can't really do anything together. Yeah, a lot of people are like that. I have some old friends, but some friends we don't talk much anymore. Life moves on. All right, so topic 2 was about going abroad. So you have to pick a city or a country that you would like to visit first. Where would you like to go? What would you like to visit?
I want to visit America.
That's a big country.
Yeah.
Any idea where in America you'd like to go?
I think it's New York.
New York City. All right. Well, we'll ask the first question there then. We'll start in New York City. Where would you want to stay? Would you want to stay in a hotel downtown or a villa on the outskirts of the city? Or would you like to live with a family there or something to experience the culture a little bit more? Where would you like to stay if you were going to go spend time in New York City?
I think I will stay in a hotel.
You'd stay in a hotel, a big hotel downtown?
A hotel in downtown. I think so.
Downtown, yeah, right in the middle of the city, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you get to see a lot, that's for sure. Why would you want to stay in a hotel downtown?
Mm, I need to be alone, and I don't want to have someone to be a roommate with me.
Well, you could go with whoever you want. You could go with your
Yeah.
family or some friends. But why would you want to stay in a hotel downtown New York?
I need to be
Why?
alone.
To be alone.
Yeah.
But isn't that where there's going to be more people alone as opposed to a villa on the countryside?
I think the hotel is pretty comfortable for me.
Outside is comfortable?
In a hotel.
Oh, in a hotel. More comfortable, more convenience. Everything you want is there. Okay. Why would you want to go to New York and be alone?
I think I need to be alone in the night, and I can go out for some explore and to know more about New York.
Okay. So what things would you want to do? Here you are. You're in New York. So you're going to make a list of things to do. What would you want to do, number one?
First thing, I want to make friends with some native people.
Oh, okay. Make some friends with the locals, some natives.
I will go shopping.
And do a lot of shopping.
And,
So you say sometimes it's hard to make friends with foreigners or natives. You mean like so that you can practice speaking English and things like that?
yeah, I can improve my English with foreign people.
I really want to actually research this myself. So if I do find some information, I'll post it, or I'll tell you in class, because I think there's lots of English clubs, online English clubs that you can join in different countries. Because if you could at least join some English clubs where they have different games or chats. I don't know what they do I've been wanting to set an English club up, but I really don't know what to do with an English club, especially if it's online. But if I find some, I'll tell you about it so you can check it out yourself. So do some shopping, meet some people. What places would you like to visit? Where would you like to go in New York that you'd like to see? What attractions? Would you like to go to the Statue of Liberty?
Yeah, I think I want to go to there too.
Yeah. I don't think you can go to the top anymore. They used to have a railing. You could go up to the top where the crown is, I think. But for some reason, I heard that they closed that off now. But apparently you can go into a certain level. I'm not sure what it is. But yeah, I'd like to go see that too. What else would you like to do if you were in New York? Would you like to try a lot of the restaurants?
Yeah, I want to.
Food is yummy.
The food it will be pretty delicious.
Oh, yeah. And that's the really good thing about some of these Western countries and the bigger cities. You have authentic food from all over the world. You can have Italian food, Indian food, Lebanese food, Mexican food, because there's so many different cultures that live in these cities. They're very multicultural. Really good tacos and different things, just like if you were visiting the other country. So you would want to take a boat trip or go watch a football game or baseball game, New York Yankees or something. What else would you like to visit? Because I've been giving all the suggestions. You got to pick one. One thing that you'd like to do if you were in New York.
I
Or go visit.
I prefer ride a motorbike and and go around the city.
Also, just do some more sightseeing, driving around the city, seeing different places. Okay. All right. I don't know if you can rent motorcycles and like here you guys have scooters and motorcycles and everybody has one and you can rent them really cheap. But I personally have not seen that much in any of the cities in North America because there usually people drive around in a car. They don't normally drive around on motorcycles. It's a little different. But who knows? That was a long time ago. I was just outside New York 10 years ago when the last time I visited home. But I was across the river. I was in New Jersey. Newark, I think it's called, airport. But I could see the city of New York. But I've never been in New York City. Nope. Let's go to part 2. Part 2, social discussion. Here's the discussion. Some scientists believe that in the future, humans will live for 200 or even 300 years. Choose the question you are more interested in speaking about, whichever one you feel more comfortable with. You have a couple of options here, 3 options. 1, do you think most people would like to live that long? Why or why not? What problems do you think people could have if they lived that long? What kind of problems would they run into that maybe they wouldn't run into in today's world? Or 3, would it be better for the world if people would live for 200 years? Like, never mind what I think, but as a whole, do you think it's better that people would have more grandparents and stuff like this now? Would it be better for society? Up to you. Do you have any questions?
I don't have any questions.
All right. So I'm going to give you 1 minute to prepare your answer. Make some notes so you know what you're talking about. Starting now. You have 1 minute. Ching, ching. All right, your time is up. So I already gave you all the options. So which option would you like to talk about? What are your thoughts about this? People living to 200 or 300 years. Would you like to live to 300 years old?
I don't know. I just want to live a good life and I don't want to live a long life, but boring and sad.
Yeah, it really depends what you're doing. If you love what you do and you're healthy and you still have your brain, yeah, maybe it'd be great. But if it's a tough life, maybe not. So what do you think? What are you going to talk about? Are you going to talk about what you think people think? Are you going to tell me about the problems people could have if they live that long? Or are you going to talk to me about how it would affect the world? Which one?
I want to talk about what problems do you think people could have if they live for 200 years.
Okay, what problems do you think people could have if they lived for that long, 200 or 300 years? All right, so what do you think? What kind of problems do you think they might have?
I think the population growth will be an important problem.
Yeah, if they can still have babies when they're in their hundreds, that's another really interesting question. If people could live that long, would it change the ages of when they can have babies? That's an interesting. Yeah. But I don't know if anybody knows that. What else do you think would be a problem or could be problems, right? What other problems could arise?
I think the living condition is hard to living I think the living condition will not be enough with the people who live for 200 years.
The living conditions could be a big problem. Yeah, for sure. Can you imagine living with 5 grandfathers and 5 grandmothers?
Yeah, it's so unbelievable, and the thing is very annoying for me.
It would
Also,
be
my parents too.
imponderable to even think of what that would be like. Yeah, especially like in Asian cultures where the families live together. The West is different. Once you're an adult, you move out. But in Asia, wow, that would be some big families. Can you think of any other problems that might come about?
That's all I can think.
You can't think of anything else? Okay, tell me why you didn't choose to talk about what most people think. Right? Number one, do you think most people would like? Do you think people would like to live that long? Why didn't you pick that one?
Because I I could not give the correct answer for option one.
Couldn't think of a good answer. What do you think? Do you think people would like to live that long?
Some may like it, and some may don't have don't need a long life.
Again, some would like a long life, some no. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Would it be better for the world if people could live for 200 years? Would there be? Let me ask it this way: do you think there's any good in people living for 200 plus years? Do you think there's any good that would help the people, help society?
I think it will help people to improve the chance for them to study and know more things about the world.
That is definitely one of the benefits, I think, is that you could have an incredible education, right? Imagine, I mean, you could take a university degree and study something and work that for a few decades, and then you could go back and study something else and then work that for a few decades and go back and study another degree. And the amount you could learn, a 200-year-old person, if they were smart and they read about history and they read a lot and they studied a lot, they were open-minded. Wow, that could be one very, very wise person. That's for sure. That's for sure. Because we don't really know what our limitations are. You know, I think I told this to the English and Mind students last night. Not English and Mind, more than just English. The reading group that we have on Friday nights. These are mostly the kids that graduated from Interest 40. Their English is really high, so we take really complex books and great sellers in the past and read them, and then take the vocab out and discuss them. Right now, we're reading a book called "Think and Grow Rich" by Napoleon Hill, and one of the things we were talking about was that, teenagers grow up and young adults grow up, and they're having a hard time, and then they ask people, what's wrong with me? What should I do to do better? And the people say to you, your friends or family say, oh, you're fine just the way you are, right? To try to make you feel better. But that's the wrong thing to say, because that's not true. You're not fine just the way you are. Every one of us has a responsibility to continue to improve ourselves as we grow older, wiser, and more experienced. And that none of us will ever hit our fullest potential. And most of us have no idea what great things we could do and how much better we could be. We tend to listen to other people too much sometimes instead of following our dreams. So that was an interesting conversation we had in our in our reading class last night, advanced reading. So yeah, but someone who had the right attitude, boy, oh boy, oh boy, if they lived to 200 or 300 years old and they were still clever, cognitive, that would be, you'd be pretty smart. For sure. All right, let's go to topic 3. Okay, so our speaking topic today is based on our lesson Shopaholic, where we read about a couple of shopaholics and how they dealt with their problem. So let's see how much you remember that. What can shopaholics do to stop their compulsive habit of shopping? You know, how do they change this behavior? And the problems, is it advertising? Is advertising the cause of the obsession, or is it social pressure to fit in with friends? What do you think? What do you think the problem is, and what can be done about it? How do you think what is the problem, and how do you think we can try to help these people? Oh, I forgot to give you I got to give you your minute now, too. That's the topic, and I'm going to give you a minute starting now. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
All right, starting now. All right, time is up. Okay, so I already read everything originally about shopaholics, and the basic question here was, what do you think the problem is for most of these people? Of course, probably different for many people, but there's usually a general cause or a problem. And what can be done about it? What do you think? How can we help these people? Why is it happening? Why do kids go out and, yeah, adults too, go out and spend so much money on things they don't need? Why?
Because after we buy something new, we'll be excited about what we buy. But shopaholic may feel unsatisfied about what they bought, and they need to buy more things to make themselves happier.
Yeah, they say for everybody, but it's all our buying is always based on our emotions. How does it make us feel? Why do you choose to go to this school and not that school? Why do you buy this kind of motorcycle, not that motorcycle? This style of clothes, that one. It's because of how it makes you feel, and we buy on emotions. That is true. And sometimes we buy and we regret it, and then we go and buy more things to make ourselves feel better. That is the problem. But so what do you think the problem is? So are you trying to say that the problem is we can't control our emotions?
I think
Like, why are they doing it? We know how they feel. You know,
I
that's
think
already.
they can control themselves.
But why? Because of advertising? Because of their friends?
Both of these two reasons.
So combination of those reasons and emotions. Okay. So how do you think we can help these people change their behavior?
Yeah, we can change their mind. Just up to them.
It is up to them.
Up to them, and we may give them some advice to make them don't feel like them is a shopaholic.
Can you think of any advice you'd tell a friend that had a shopping problem, was a shopaholic? What kind of advice? Because I have an idea what I would say to someone if they had that problem. But what do you think? Do you have any idea what kind of advice you could give your friend?
I think I could I can talk to them about their problem, about the shopping obsession.
Mm-hmm. Like what? You're going around the question. Trevor, or Lily's a shopaholic. She's crazy about fashion. She always has to buy a new shirt or earrings or something every time she goes out with her friends. And she has no more money. And she's borrowing money. It's a problem now. What are you going to tell her?
I think she need to get rid of money some for for a long time and avoiding some shopping website and TV shopping channels.
She will what?
She need to avoid internet shopping sites like Shopee, Lazada, or what, and avoid to use money for buy a thing that they don't need. They just want it.
So I don't understand. You're saying she should shop online instead? It's cheaper to save money?
And no, she should avoid shopping sites.
Oh, hard to understand what you're saying. Okay. I'm not sure what you're saying there. Because, yeah, a shopaholic could be both. It could be online or in shops. Well, I think, like you said, I'm not quite sure what you were saying there. You tried to say it 2 or 3 times, but you're louder. I can hear you, but sometimes the comprehension is not there on my part to understand what you're saying. But I'll hear it more on when I edit it. It sounds better when I put it on the computer in the program. Just a quick note. I think you're right about it's up to them, because I think what they have to do, it's hard for us to just tell people what to do. Most people won't listen anyway. We don't even listen to ourselves most of the time. But they really have to sit down and have a conversation with themselves, right? And try to formulate questions for themselves. Like, remember what the girl did in our reading? Do you remember how the girl in our lesson, how she managed to get her shopping under control? Do you remember what she did?
She and
she had a series of questions she would ask herself every time she had the urge to spontaneously buy things, right? She would say, okay, well, before I buy this, do I really need it? How many do I already have? She would make herself think consciously about it as to whether or not she truly needed it. Was one of the first things she did, right? And another thing that she did, and if she managed to get herself to a point that if she's told herself, no, I don't need that. I already have 5 pairs of earrings that I haven't worn. I don't need to buy another pair. So that really helped her to not buy as much. And the other thing was, what was it she did? She also kind of put it off, right? I think she was saying something like, sometimes she really wanted it, but she decided that, okay, if I'm going to buy it, when am I going to use it? And if it wasn't right away, she would say, okay, if I were to use this dress, it would be next weekend when I go to that party. So I'll wait until next week and see if I still want to buy it then. So she would create kind of questions in her head to make her conscious of the problem before she would just keep buying and regretting it after. So she gave herself some options. That was one way. But it comes back down to, like you said, it all comes down to us. Everything in our life, at the end of the day, it's not, when you're an adult, it's not going to matter what your mom and dad say or your husband or your friends. If you really want something, you're going to go get it. And if you really don't want to do it, even if you're forced to do it, you're not going to do a good job. So it's really important that we communicate with ourselves and be honest with ourselves, right, to what you want and what you don't want in life, and fight towards that, because you'll be a lot happier for sure. Okay, thank God the microphone, I could hear almost everything you said, so it's much better than the last one. I don't know what you did. It started off
And I
really,
don't know why too.
yeah. At the
It's
beginning, it
me,
was really quiet.
the old one, the old one. I use the old one.
You used the old one.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's what it is. So keep using this one then. At least now I can hear you much clearer. This is much better than the last test for sure. All right. So have yourself a wonderful weekend. Get some rest, relax, because I know you have busy Saturdays and busy school schedules. So it's good to get good sleep and some good food in you. Go for a walk. Get some oxygen and blood in your brain so you think clearly and you're fresh. And keep dancing and keep drawing. What's that, Milo?
I need to be refreshed and to be lonely.
You choose to be alone. Oh, to be alone. Well, just relax. You have to remember that you are one version of many, 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 many yous in the future, right? Yeah, well, you're a community of Milos. There's Milo when she was 10. There's Milo when she's 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, maybe 90, maybe 100. But every one of those Milos is growing and learning new things and changing. So every version of you is getting is different. Is different. I'm a different Trevor than I was 10 years ago. I'm different than I was 20 years ago. I'm different than I was 30 years ago. And one important thing to remember is that, when you make decisions about your life, always try to make the decision on whether it's going to be good for the future you and not just the future today. Like, for example, maybe it's just bad eating habits or exercise. It's just a general. I can't think of anything else on the top of my head. But you decide that you don't want to do dancing anymore, or you don't want to cook. You just want the instant food all the time. Example. Well, right now it's going to be okay, this version of you. But ask yourself, how is that going to affect me in 5, 10, 20 years from now? What about the future me? Am I going to be happy I made that decision today? And chances are you're probably going to say, well, no, because then I'm going to be overweight. I'm not going to eat well. I'm going to develop a bad habit. So I'm going to make the decision today to do this because it's going to make the Milo in the future a better person. Right? So you have to, when you're making decisions, you're young, you're 14. So this is a very crucial decision time in your life because you're picking and choosing the directions you're going. You're developing your habits, and it's very important to think about the next you and what the best choices are. Did you understand that?
Yeah, I understand you.
Okay.
I see you.
You see me? You see me and you hear me?
Yeah.
Good. I'm here to help you guys. That's my job. That's why I always say English with Trevor and Newway English is more than just English. We talk about history and geography, and we talk about life issues and things that you're going to go through with our experience because we've already gone through it. And we try to help you guys in as many ways as possible. Have a good weekend. See you next week here it is. Interest, share. Number 3. Number 2. There's our new cover. Interest 23 next Saturday. CEFR B1 people, because we're going to talk about all kinds of different people in different careers and different places and different adventures starting next week. Bye.
Bye.